What's up, design family, and welcome back to another episode of Fittdesign TV. So glad to have you back on the channel. On today's episode, we'll be taking another dive into the wild world of pattern prints. Specifically on this episode, we'll be taking a look at the checkered print. There are a ton of different options available, and the checkered print is honestly one that is an absolute classic. It never goes out of style, and there's pretty much a checkered print for each person's taste and specific kind of direction. So on today's episode, I'll run you through the different checkered print available, so what the variations are. I'll run you through each, explain where each is going to be used, and identify how you can actually tell one apart from the other. So whether you're out shopping or having a discussion with a fashionable acquaintance, I guarantee you after this episode, you're going to look and feel like an absolute pro. What's up, design family, and welcome to Fittdesign TV. So glad to have you here. On this channel, we discuss all things sports fashion, graphic design, manufacturing, and technology. We'll discuss key topics, answer pressing questions, and provide actionable steps on starting your own product line. If you're interested in any of the above topics, stick around. You're in for a good one. When it comes to checkered patterns, like I mentioned, there are a ton of options to choose from. So listen up, we'll start at the beginning. The first one that we're going to be discussing is the graph check. This one is quite simple, and it's essentially a graph that resembles a mathematics graph pattern. It's very recognizable and is one that you'll instantly understand when you see it. Number 2 on our list is the GLEN PLAID. This pattern is based on irregular, small, and large checks that essentially form a pattern on a twill weave design. It's often seen used with woolen fabrics and typically heavier set fabrics, and is an extremely popular pattern to be used on suiting fabrics. Number 3 on our list is the pin check pattern. This one is based on single colored pin-sized stripes that are going horizontally and vertically to form a square grid or a rectangular grid. Fourth up on our list is the mini check pattern. This one is based on a small check pattern that alternates between the size of a pin check and a gingham check. So it's right in the middle between our pin check, then we have our mini check, and then we have our gingham check. Number 5 is our window pane pattern. This one is characterized by thin stripes that are spaced wide apart across each other on the warp and the weft yarns. It gets its name specifically from the fact that it actually resembles a pane on a window. This type of pattern is extremely popular on men's suiting fabrics. It's a checkered pattern or a square grid pattern that has just the right amount of boldness, not too much and not too little. Number 6 is the houndstooth pattern. This one is characterized by a broken 4-point geometric pattern that essentially resembles a houndstooth because of its angular shape, and is commonly seen in black and white or white and red. Number 7 is the shepherd's check. This one is a twill weave based check pattern that's quite similar to the gingham and is typically seen in black and white color schemes. Number 8 is the TATTERSALL pattern. This one is based on thin and regularly spaced stripes, which end up forming a square grid with alternating different color patterns. So you might have a red stripe and then you might have a dark red stripe. Depends on the specific color, and these stripes are always on a lightly colored background. Number 9 is one of the most common patterns that we see, especially in the checkered world, which is the gingham pattern. This one is a check pattern that's formed with solid, transparent, and light stripes, always on a extremely light colored background or a white background. Number 10, we have the tartan pattern. This one is characterized by various colored stripes with diagonal lines on weft and warp yarns that cross each other in multiple different colors. Here, we end up with a multiple colored check looking pattern, and one that has a lot of depth and a lot of character to it. So the tartan pattern is a great option for something unique and bold. Moving into this mini section of tartan patterns, we have number 11, which is the Royal Stuart tartan. This one is a tartan pattern that's extremely associated with the royal house of Stuart and is considered the personal tartan of Queen Elizabeth II. And last in this mini section of tartan is number 12, which is the Black Watch tartan. This one is a green and blue check tartan that is usually associated with the Royal Regiment of Scotland. It's very subtle, but it has a lot of depth and nuance to it, so it's one of my personal favorite tartan patterns available. Number 13 is the Clan Wallace. This one is instantly recognizable. Whenever you think of the brand 3M, you're going to think of the Wallace or the Clan Wallace. This is best known as the Wallace Red and is an extremely iconic tartan-based pattern. Number 14 on our list is the Burberry check. As the name suggests, this is the signature check of the luxury fashion house Burberry. And number 15 and the penultimate pattern on our list is going to be the Madras pattern. This one is a vibrant color check that's often seen in color palettes that are extremely bright, bold, and vibrant that include colors like orange, pink, blue, and yellow. And last on our list is going to be the Buffalo pattern. This one is based on a large square checked pattern that is formed using different colors. Typically we see this type of pattern in the red and black color scheme. This one has a strong correlation with the American country style and is one that we think of when we think of outback style clothing. Well, guys, that is it. That's a wrap on this episode. We've ran you through all of the different checkered pattern prints available. There are a ton to choose from, so you should have been able to sort of sort through the ones that you like and the ones that you don't like. And hopefully next time you're out in public, you're able to identify each of these checkered patterns. And remember this video. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, please consider smashing a massive thumbs up. It really does help us out. Also, consider subscribing if you haven't done so already. We put out great content on a week-to-week basis, and we'd love for you to be along for the ride. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Fittdesign TV. Until next episode, stay awesome.